Welcome to Rockford State, home of the Ravens.
In the heart of Illinois, a new program is rising. Rockford State, the Ravens, born in blue and yellow, built for the Mid-American Conference. No history, no tradition, no guarantees. Just one first-year coach, Beau Kowalik, and a mission to put Rockford on the map. While the big-name schools look down on them, the Ravens are quietly building something dangerous, smart, fast, relentless. This isn't just another Dynasty series. This is the story of a brand new program fighting for respect in the MAC and proving that underdogs can rewrite the entire script. Welcome to Rockford State. The Ravens are here, and they're just getting started. We start at Rockford State with our first in-season recruiting. We have three main targets at the moment. Ezai Westerman, a 4-star running back out of Concord, North Carolina. The one and only 5-star we are going after is safety James East out of Blairstown, New Jersey. The last focal point at this moment is left tackle Antoine Dobbs out of West Lafayette, Indiana, a solid 3-star prospect. Our recruiting path will change over the course of the season, but one way or another, Rockford State will one day dominate the MAC. Rockford State's first game will be a road test and a conference clash as the Ravens will travel to Eastern Michigan to take on the Eagles.
This is Rynerson Stadium in Ypsilanti, Michigan. These two teams will break the seal on conference play in this one. It's the Ravens and the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Reese Davis, David Pollock, and Jesse Palmer with you. Holly Rowe down on the sideline, and Holly, a little familiarity in this one.
Thanks, guys. Eastern Michigan head coach talked to me pregame. He is thrilled to be back at his alma mater. All of the things that make this place so special, he is so familiar with. And he knows that he can bring this place to a better than a top 25 finish. He understands that they were good last year, but that was not enough. He is ready to take this team to the top here at home. Back to you.
Thanks, Holly.
On Rockford State's first ever play from scrimmage, Antoine Keys gets the program's first ever sack. The Ravens would force Eastern Michigan to punt on their opening series. Rockford State's first series would start well but end in disaster. Quarterback Justin Marlowe would find a crossing Zarius Smith Jr. for an 18-yard gain. Then running back Jamal Morris would take off down the left side for a 14-yard run. The Ravens would convert on 4th and inches. A few plays later, following the 4th down conversion, Marlowe would hit Titus Emmanuel for a huge 21-yard gain, putting the Ravens inside the 5-yard line. 3 plays later, Marlowe would throw the ball to the back corner of the end zone only to be picked off by Javian Norman. Eastern Michigan turned the interception into a 43-yard field goal, giving the Eagles a 3-0 lead. The ensuing kickoff would become a trivia question. How did Rockford State score their first ever touchdown? The answer, a 96-yard kickoff return by JoJo Baxter, giving the Ravens a 7-3 lead. The Eagles would respond. Quarterback Noah Kim delivered a 20-yard strike to Harold Mack. The Eagles would hurry up and Kim would hit wideout Benson Prosper for the massive 46-yard touchdown to put Eastern Michigan up 10-7. The Ravens would go 3 and out and the Eagles would take over at the Ravens' 44-yard line. Kim would hit Prosper for a 9-yard gain, then again for a 14-yard gain. Eastern Michigan would hit a 20-yard field goal to head into the half up 13-7. The first drive of the second half was a good one for the Ravens. Morris ran up the middle for 11 and Marlowe found Jet Moore across the middle for 15. Later in the drive, Coach Kowalik would go for it on 4th and 3 and Marlowe would hit Noah Richmond on a corner route to put the Ravens inside the 10-yard line. Deshaun Beauchamp would punch it in on the very next play from 8 yards out and Rockford State would go up 14-13. Late in the third quarter, Antoine Keys would pick up his second sack of the game. 2 plays later, the Ravens would get a lucky bounce. CeCe McKenzie drops a would-be interception and safety Kerryon Thompson would snag it out of the air for an interception. On the final play of the third quarter, Justin Marlowe would deliver a beautiful ball to Jet Moore for a massive 30-yard gain. Beauchamp would find the end zone 4 plays later from 1 yard out for his second touchdown of the day to put the Ravens up 21-13. The two teams would trade punts, and with just 1:24 remaining, the Eagles would go for it on 4th and 9 and pick up 28 and call a timeout. Following the timeout, Noah Kim threw up a jump ball, and safety Kerryon Thompson would seal the game with his second interception of the day. The Rockford State Ravens would win their first ever game 21-13. As the Ravens head into Week 2, head coach Beau Kowalik has already met the athletic director's expectation of winning more conference games than last year. Safety Kerryon Thompson was named the MAC Defensive Player of the Week after his 2-interception game. In Week 2, Rockford State will host FCS West in their first ever home game. The Ravens are hoping to open up Stellantis Stadium with a win. Not much has changed on the recruiting front, so let's get into the highlights of the game.
What better way to spend a Saturday afternoon than this game that we have in store for you right here? A staple of the college football environment. Color-coordinated schemes in the stands. A stripe out today. Students, alumni, all fans have band together to try to make life miserable for these visitors. It's the River Toads and the Ravens. Alongside David Pollock and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. Holly Rowe will be down on the sideline.
The Ravens would move the ball nicely to start. Beauchamp would start the drive with an 18-yard rush. Jet Moore would catch a pass for 13 yards and another for 9 yards. The drive would stall out, and kicker Heath Goodman would miss a 51-yard field goal, and the game would remain scoreless. Rockford State would get it rolling again on their second drive. A screen to Beauchamp for 26 yards and a 10-yard scramble by Marlowe would bring the first quarter to an end. In the first play of the second quarter, the Ravens would go play action, and Justin Marlowe would find tight end Titus Emanuel for a big 26-yard gain. On the next play, Beauchamp would find the end zone from 8 yards out to give the Ravens their first ever points at home. Ravens lead 7-0. Following a River Toads punt, the Ravens would score again. First, Emmanuel's big day would really get going. Back-to-back catches of 21 yards and 30 yards would put the Ravens inside the 10. Then Deshaun Beauchamp would find the end zone again, his second of the day, giving Rockford State a 14-0 lead. With 2 minutes left in the first half, the River Toads would find some offense of their own, aided by poor tackling. 49 yards down the sideline, followed by an 8-yard touchdown, and the lead was cut in half, 14-7. The Ravens would immediately respond. Elijah Lockridge would catch the return in the end zone and make his way down the left sideline for a 101-yard kickoff return touchdown, Rockford State's second kickoff return touchdown of the year. The River Toads would answer. A big pass for 43 yards set the Toads up inside the 30. 3 plays later, they scored a 26-yard touchdown through the air to cut the score to 21-14. With just 30 seconds left, the Ravens had 3 timeouts to attempt to find some points. On 2nd and 10, Marlowe would hit Emmanuel for 19 yards. With 14 seconds left, Marlowe would scramble out to the right, looking for someone to get open. Zarius Smith Jr. would come back to the ball, and the Ravens would gain 36 yards to put them in field goal range with 4 seconds remaining. Goodman would connect on a 41-yard field goal to make the score 24-14 at half. The River Toads would punt on their first drive of the second half, and the Deshaun Beauchamp show would continue. His third touchdown of the day from 4 yards out would put the Ravens up 31-14. On the ensuing possession, Jamari Logan picks up a sack to force a 3-and-out. By now you've heard Beauchamp's name plenty, and you're gonna hear it again. He cuts back to the middle where he finds a lane and takes it 57 yards to the crib, his 4th of the day, and the Ravens lead 38-14. On the next series, Harrison Saturday would get his second sack of the day to force a 3rd and 19. After an incompletion, the River Toads would have a 4th and 19. Another incompletion on 4th down would give the Ravens the ball at their own 39 with 2:56 remaining. While running out the clock, Beauchamp would burst up the middle for 18. Then Coach Kowalik would pour salt on the wound. Instead of kneeling, he gave Beauchamp another carry. Beauchamp shows no regard for human life, trucking a defender en route to yet another touchdown. He finished with a career-best 159 yards and an astonishing 5 touchdowns, leading the Ravens to a 45-14 victory. Rockford State wins their first ever home game and are now 2-0 on the year. Beauchamp was named MAC and National Player of the Week for his 159-yard and 5 touchdown performance. As of now, there's no major recruiting updates yet. The Ravens head into hostile territory this week, facing the Bulldogs.
Valley Children's Stadium in Fresno, California. Early season momentum at stake here as we have a Week 2 clash here on EA Sports College Football. It's the Ravens and the Fresno State Bulldogs. Alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I am Reese Davis. Holly Rose down on the sidelines. We say hello to Holly.
Catching up with the Ravens head coach, he is very concerned about this crowd. It is a tough place to play, and with this home crowd, he knows that this is going to be one of their biggest challenges so far of the season. Can they get an upset on the road with this crowd noise, with this environment? He says his team has to stay locked in and focused to make it happen on the road today. Back to you.
Thank you, Holly. Really looking forward to this matchup.
On Rockford State's first possession, Jameel Morris returns from injury and breaks out for a 23-yard gain. Deshaun Beauchamp makes a fantastic contested catch for a 15-yard gain. A couple plays later, quarterback Justin Marlowe extends the play and delivers a dart to the back of the end zone that is hauled in by wideout Zarius Smith Jr. to give the Ravens a 7-0 lead. Following a Fresno State punt, Rockford State would have a second consecutive scoring drive. At midfield, Terrence James would get the first down on 4th and inches. Later in the drive, they'd be facing another 4th down, and Marlowe would hit tight end Titus Emmanuel for a 17-yard gain. A couple plays later, Marlowe would fit the ball in between 2 defenders, and Noah Richmond would haul in the 19-yard touchdown to put the Ravens up 14-0. Down 14, Fresno would put together their best drive of the first half. Quarterback Christian Martin would find tight end Brock Liam for 45 yards. On the next play, Martin hit wideout Ezekiel Abbott for 15. After the 2-minute warning, Fresno would have 4th and inches from the 2-yard line only to get stuffed by a stingy Raven defense, forcing a turnover on downs. The game went to half, 14-0 Ravens. In the second half, kicker Heath Goodman would knock through 2 field goals and Rockford State's defense would continue its dominance, allowing just 73 yards of offense, including -1 yard rushing. They held the Bulldogs scoreless and the Ravens would get their first ever shutout in school history, 20-0, moving the Ravens to 3-0. Coach Kowalik and the Rockford State Ravens are off to a perfect start. The nest is rocking and the sky is theirs for the taking. Don't miss the next episode as the Ravens keep climbing.
Please subscribe to Hagan Unlimited.